Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Daria and today I wanted to do a little bit of yapping on the topic of empathy and how I think it's important, especially at such a interesting political timing in the world. This comes from not just inspiration from politics, but just in an observation that I have made with my peers about other people and about societies. And I think we really need to have a conversation about maybe we should all start learning about empathy. So I got this idea um, from a friend who works with students with disabilities and how that they have specific classes and that they are taught empathy specifically. And from a friend, it seems that these classes do work. These classes do help students who have mental disabilities to make peace, get over arguments. And I mean, I'm not 100% right on this, but and I'm not an expert on this at all. But I just wanted to talk about empathy from my perspective. And um, we can begin with, let's say, empathy, and not just empathy, just different cultures value different things. We can all agree on that. For example, in America and in the United States, individualism, self-realization, and um, hustle culture, what you can say, and pursuing this type of self-fulfillment that is not seen to be possible or deemed to be possible in any other part of society. But in Eastern cultures, not even Eastern cultures, Mediterranean cultures, in a lot of other places, community, kindness, and um, just just having some kind of more traditional values and not really running after this kind of individualistic ideals that go on in the West. But I would like to say, as a child of immigrant parents who has 3 different cultures and has heard 3 or 4 different languages in her household, I would like to say that to me, this may seem obvious to people that people have different cultures and nothing is right or wrong, but I'm guessing a society where things are just kind of homogenous. People never really travel, people never really meet new types of people. This never seems to cross people's minds. And I wanted to share my experience with this a little bit. So, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm from. This is a later video that I want to make, but I have immigrant parents who do not come from the, obviously, I was born in America. I can just say that. I have immigrant parents who are also from different places, and sometimes they would have culture, they would have um, cultural barriers and differences amongst them in the household. And me being an American, well, first or second gen American, I would always have to try to walk in between the lines. I would also always have to try to explain to my parents about what it's like, what some kind of social cues that are appropriate in America are. And hindsight 2020, I think growing up, I'm also from a really small town where there's not really many people like me or know what culture I'm from. But hindsight 2020, I realize that me, from my own personal experiences, the reason why I I couldn't maybe understand some things other students or other kids my age was mainly because I didn't have the role models that I needed. I wasn't really normalized in a society. I wasn't doing the things that were socially acceptable where I'm from. So that was a doozy. I don't regret anything. I'm really truly grateful for that. But that got me thinking. Whenever I would travel abroad to visit my family in whatever part of the world that they were, and they're both from different places, like I said, it never fails to amaze me how, and this also goes for America too. America has a lot of stereotypes about other people, but it really never fails to amaze me every time that when I go visit family, especially older family members, they try to give me lessons and teach me the correct value system. And they also have preconceptions about America and American value systems when America is very diverse, and we know that for sure. But I just kind of get a kick out of it because I'm learning not to listen to them. I've learned not to listen to them, and they try to I guess in their eyes they mean well, but they try to give me advice that's not really applicable to me. Since I didn't grow up in these places, I grew up where I grew up. I had completely different experiences. I grew up in completely different systems. I had different types of friends. So, I wanted to say that because of my experiences, I've learned to be a bigger person, and I must admit that I learned to forgive and forget a lot easier. But my family members that never leave their countries, they never traveled, they never come visit me, I always have to do it. They never recognize the struggles that I had growing up, first, second generation American. They never recognize that maybe America isn't this amazing society with no problems and everybody has money, because we know that's not true. People don't recognize that. They don't recognize how systematically oppressive it can be, especially for people of color, for different genders. People just assume that it's all fake. And like I said, they just assume that America has no problems, everybody has a lot of money, and I should be so grateful and I have to be helping them out all the time. And me, I just kind of come to the conclusion that I understand where they're coming from, and I'm not going to hold any grudges against them, and I will always, well, I will always support them in some sort of way, even if I am wronged, because I have been wronged. Um, I just get really disappointed when the people that I see, the people that I know and care, can spit out some really hateful things about people that they've never met, that they've never walked in the shoes of, and maybe it's just cultural brainwashing, but I've come to terms with that I will never fit in anywhere. I will always be judged. I'm never going to be good enough. Well, I'm going to be good enough for myself, but a lot of times people won't find me good enough. Maybe institutions won't find me good enough. And I don't mean like schools, I mean like certain places. And that's it. It's okay. I don't need to be like everybody else. And I will never be like everybody else. I've just come to the conclusion, but it's just so bizarre to me that even in America, people try to be like one another. It's just bizarre to me that when people stand out, they don't, people don't put themselves in other people's shoes to think, oh, maybe that person is going through something. Oh, yeah, maybe they are different. Maybe that is kind of something that they want to work on, or maybe that is something that they're insecure about, and it takes a lot of energy from them. People people can be really mean. People can be really mean, and and usually it comes from a place of selfishness, being self-absorbed, you know? I don't know, especially with the invention of the internet, and God, I love the internet. I think we can do so many good, cool things with it, but people have become a lot more self-centered and not nice. Like, I don't know, maybe because I don't hear people going out of their way to give compliments anymore to people. And I was always raised, or at least I took the stuff that I was taught in school to look at people equally and fairly, regardless of whatever religious beliefs but you have individually. But I just learned that everyone deserves respect. And I'm not coming at it from an angle of God or anything. I just mean we're all human. We're all complex beings. We're not all the same. There People aren't just good and bad. Yeah, there's some evil, cruel people, but people are so different. I don't know. It just makes me sad. It just makes me sad. And with all that's going on in the world, I just get even sadder because the people who are in charge are the most self absorbed. And I don't know if it's really ever been any different, to be honest with you, when you think about it. Maybe there were some periods in time where it was less apparent, but I mean, we had the feudal system. We had all of that. I don't know if it's any different. But what I mean is, but what I'm trying to get at is this is just a little rant. No one has to agree with me. I respect your opinion, but people get mean, and I don't like people being mean to one another. And I think we're just in a very stressful period of time, society, and I really appreciate what I do love about America is I really love that people can take the time to just work on themselves. Um, yes, there's the concept of the American dream, and by a certain age, you should have some things done, but I think it's a lot less apparent than in other places and in other cultures where they're a little bit more traditional and gender roles and are the norm, you know. So, with that being said, I do think that in any society, we do need to learn to be more empathetic, especially when it comes to not relying on certain people, but relying on yourself and your community. Because it's sad. It's so sad that with the whole concept of more self-absorbed people, or self-centered people, it's so sad that there are a lot less people that seems that you can trust or lean on when things go really, really bad. And I don't know, that's really scary for society. I think it's really scary for society. But I can't tell people what to do. I can't control anything. I can just start from myself. I can start being kind. I can start giving compliments. I can just start from myself. And all I can tell you is I can encourage you to do the same. But honestly, that's all. That's my little rant today. Yeah, that's it. Bye.